coming into this weekend, Washington Spirit play Louisville. I think she's the X factor. And I just want to see her do the trin spin, ball out, and get back into the form we saw her in before this back injury plagued her. So that's my pain reliever of this week. Kansas City Current and Orlando Pride is not the only big match this weekend. As we know, it's NWSL. It's chaotic. It's close. Any given day, any team can beat top of the table, bottom of the table. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of this league. So much so that only 12 points separate Orlando Pride in second place from Houston Dash, who sit in 12th. So every single game is uber important. So we thought it'd be really fun to zone in on our pain relievers of the week. Who is going to be clutch for the team? Who is going to help their teams adapt? It can be players, coach, a teal man. It can be whatever we want it to be. So let's go through our pain relievers of the week. And Christine Cupo, our honorary Leo, happy belated birthday. Take us through your pain reliever of this week.
Hear me out. My pain reliever this week, I'm looking to Taylor Huff for Bay. Why? Okay, so I guess 2 weeks ago now, against the Dash, we saw Bay pull up with their highest XG in the entire season, which is great for Bay. They need it. They need that little boost. What I'm looking to her for is they need to find some consistency, especially with creation in their midfield. She serves as an exemplary point for feeding and linking together balls from the midfield to that attack. Their attack, they obviously have great players, but they're getting shots off. They're not necessarily on target. She also brings firepower. She's a shooter. Shoot. They picked her up from Florida State. 12 goals, 10 assists that season, All-American. They need the reinforcements. And so when I'm looking at a pain reliever, I'm also looking to the youth to go forward for Bay here. So I think that she's going to have a big role in this match in sort of winning those balls in duels and also hitting those transitions. And I think that she's great at that. So I think that for this week, going up against Cascarino and Agia Corley, especially in those presses, I think that Tylenol will be on her back. She will be their pain reliever of this week.
I like that. She's been a standout, a baller, playing both sides of the ball really well. That was a really good shout, Cupo. I love that. Yeah. Jen, do you have any thoughts about Taylor Huff?
No, I think she's been growing into this league and, earned her consistent starting spot. And I like that. I think when I've been watching Big, obviously Kudananji, the most amount of chances have come through her, but I think they need other players to kind of step up and get forward. Obviously, she's the one with the pace, right? So she's, I think Tess Bodie's been playing some lovely through balls for Kudananji. Yeah. I think Huff is just another one that I think, Kubo, you're spot on, has to kind of, she's been performing. Now it's about adding goals to your game, and that's when you become like,
yeah. I think that her first goal, getting that off her shoulders against Dash, kind of, I feel like what we'll see is her climbing. And so eyes on her this week.
Yeah, I love that. Eyes on her. Pain reliever of the week for Christine Cupo, Taylor Huff. Shout out to Bay FC. All right, I am going to go with, of course, one of the biggest faces in women's soccer right now, Trinity Rodman. I love seeing her come on last week against Gotham. I thought she just elevated the team. She offered something different. She brings in a spiciness, fearlessness, a boldness going 1v1. She's clearly hungry to score again. And that was such a boring match. Washington dropped points last weekend. You had a player go down the first few minutes of the first half for Gotham with a red card. So you were up a player the entire match. And you didn't do anything. And there was even a moment where they hit I can't remember who hit the post. And it was like everybody froze in time on both sides. And I kind of couldn't believe nobody followed it up to put it away. And I think Trinity Rodman would be that girl to follow it up and put it away. So she's the pain reliever of a boring game for me. Coming into this weekend, Washington Spirit play Louisville. I think she's the X factor. And I just want to see her do the trin spin, ball out, and get back into the form we saw her in before this back injury plagued her. So that's my pain reliever of this week.
She was definitely pain reliever straight off the back of her injury, right? Like coming in straight away. So she's got it in her for sure. I like it that you want to see it again. You've actually teed me up perfectly for my pain reliever, if allowed, if I can go into it.
Oh, please. The floor is yours.
Well, you're talking about the Gotham game, right? Ascending off. My player is Rose Lavelle, because within that game, you got a player last week, player sent off for Gotham in the 30th minute. Obviously, really unfortunate. So they'll be hurting, right? They'll be tired legs. They need this pain reliever. And I think seeing Rose Lavelle coming back into the side, she got 60 minutes under her belt. I feel like she's ready to come into this game at the weekend on Sunday for them and step up, because that was a hard week. They did so well to get a tie with a player down for that amount of time, by the way. Washington Spirit couldn't break them down. But this week's different. You got to go in strong. And I think Rose Lavelle's ready to kick on this season. Now she's back fit. She's back fresh. So she's ready.
I love that. I think Rose Lavelle is such a player that's a joy. I've gotten to play with her. She's incredible on the pitch. But any team she goes to, she's such an asset because she creates such a different wrinkle to the entirety of the way the team plays. And like we were saying with Schwinga and Banda, you have to adjust the way that you're defending because she's on the pitch. So I think that was a brilliant shout. Love that she's healthy. Everybody knock on some wood. Love that she's healthy, staying in the game for Gotham. Yep. I love that. Pain reliever of the week. I want to give an honorable mention to Laura Harvey. Because what the hell was that last weekend? The Cascadia rivalry. The defending was nuts. There was way too much space there for the wing backs. We know Laura Harvey is a defensive coach. She is a defensive fundamentalist coach, like a Vladko, like those big U.S. soccer coaches that have been in the system. That is how you build your team first. And I don't think we saw it last week. It looked like they were trying something new. Yes, they had injuries to Phoebe McClernand, which shifted things around. You didn't get Sofia Huerta as a wingback going up and serving in incredible balls, but I know we're going to see a big adjustment from what we saw against Portland, because losing that game at Providence Park in a Cascadia rivalry is not something to be taken lightly. And I know Laura Harvey knows this history, fuels her team about this history. So going to this week, I think we're going to see her relieve some pain and flip this team around. But I wanted to give an honorable mention. I don't know if you guys have any.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that one. Maybe the adjustment will be defend. We'll see.
It was just the spacing that was an issue for me.
Sharples could be my honorary mention.
Tell us why.
She has to be a pain reliever for up against Barbara Banda. You got to, eliminate your top strikers, and we talked about Banda making loads of shots, and that causes pain in a defense. You start to wobble, you start to think about it. So I think if you eliminate that as much as possible, I think defenders eliminate pain, mate. They're gonna keep shutouts, and she's at the heart of it. So Kayla Sharples for me will be another sponsored by Tylenol Pain Reliever this weekend.
Yeah, come on, get the bag. Come on. Yeah, Tylenol. We're rocking with you today, Tylenol Heavy, especially for Christine Cupo.